Tonight at the headquarters of the self-declared People's Republic of Donetsk, news of the Geneva deal was slowly filtering through. The first reaction was that they would give up no buildings until protesters in Kiev had given up their buildings. But later, this was all a spokesman would say.
Please understand, official words you can hear tomorrow from our leaders. Please come tomorrow and you will see.
Many in the crowd said they didn't want to give up until they'd been given a referendum on their desire for much greater rights to run their own affairs in the East. And above all, there was a huge sense of distrust.
We didn't believe nobody. We are really very unhappy people. Nobody in the world didn't support us.
For the Geneva deal to work, thousands of angry people who've invested weeks of their lives in this struggle are going to have to agree to give up the buildings that they've taken and the weapons which they now see as their main form of power. This week, eastern Ukraine had teetered on the brink as pro-Russian protesters smashed their way into government buildings and police stations, with the new government in Kiev seemingly powerless to stop them. When the response eventually came from Kiev, it was in the form of heavy armour, which was then confronted by villagers and angry young men, as helicopters and fighter jets roared overhead. Reducing the tension is going to take a huge amount of arm twisting from the Kremlin in Moscow and the White House in Washington, but it's not clear if they'll be able to control the angry passions that have been unleashed. This leaflet calling on all Jewish people in Donetsk to register was held up as an example by the US Secretary of State John Kerry of how bad things have got, though in fact protest leaders say it's a fake designed to discredit them. This evening, a pro-Kiev rally being held here in the East was a reminder that politics in Ukraine are complicated. Amidst all the talk of a new Cold War, Washington, Moscow and Brussels will need to remain focused on Ukraine to avoid this deal falling apart. Daniel Sandford, BBC News, Donetsk.